Hello, you guys, and welcome to the Woman's Cave. It is my turn.
She can have it. You know, I'm gonna be gracious today, and she can still have cold champagne. If you guys if y'all follow the show, you'll know this one time she cut me off as I was saying, "Welcome to the Women's Cave," and so I said, "Oh, I had poured her a glass of champagne," and I just drank it in the interview in front of her face because she deserved it.
And no, please understand that she wasn't really meaning I couldn't get champagne. I could definitely get champagne. It was just warm champagne.
Absolutely.
I took all the champagne that was sitting in the sun. That's a whole different level of champagne.
I surely did. I took all the champagne out of the refrigerator. Just warm champagne for you. Passive aggressive says what? Jade, though. That's my name.
Oh, you remember to introduce yourself. Congratulations, Ebola Elbow.
But you can only do that stuff to your best friend. I wouldn't do it to some random stranger I didn't know.
Oh, yeah, that would just be utterly
That would be mean.
I feel like they would write a book about us, about how rude we were.
Yeah, but we,
gave them warm champagne.
Yeah, that's disgusting. Anyway, moving on. And I thought books that we have.
We wrote books. They're literary life guides of pop poetry. And yes, I'm going to start taking that line. Is that okay?
I love it.
Woo!
Vinyl. Social distancing. Oh, but we love it.
Okay.
All right. So, and I thought Divorce Was Bad with Other Life Lessons. And that is available on audible.com, barnesandnoble.com, and amazon.com. And I Thought Being Grown Up Was Easy is available on amazon.com and Barnes & Noble. But y'all just wait for the audiobook. It's coming out soon. Still saying, she reads my words so beautifully, and it's wonderful. Y'all need to wait.
Honestly, when the first time I heard Joe do the first chapter, I went, wait, I didn't write that, did I? Oh, no.
The first lesson.
The first lesson.
No chapters.
I know, there's no chapter, whatever.
What are you doing?
The first life lesson, I went and I was like, oh, those are actually my words. Go figure.
Go figure. We wrote that. It's amazing. And one of my favorite books, And I Saw It, I Did My Journey Alone, available on Amazon.com. Yes, okay. I shout out my favorite books. I do. And then
the entire rest of the And I Thought series. It's long and it's big.
It's long.
So then there's the Misfit Guide series, and then we have our new book is.
Oh yes, If Only I Were Me, available on barnesandnoble.com. Only. Yeah. Only.
And then I am the author of the Widow's Debt series and Foreign Coffee, which is also an audiobook. It's a romance book, but
not a romance.
Don't let anyone know that it's not really a romance. Yes, when you get to the end and you don't have the happily ever after, I'm like, I told you so. Okay. Anyway, moving on. I thought it sounded go. Please go.
All of that is also, you can just check out everything on www.andwethought.com. We are the founders of the 25 hottest indie authors, artists, and advocates magazine. Yes, for $7.50, you too cannot be bored because it's 196 pages.
And when I say 196 pages, it's not one of those magazines where you flip and go, ooh, page 1 is an ad. Page 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. It's like page 1 is an ad, and then it's just straight like
there's a whole bunch of content. Yeah. So enjoy.
Now, you're not here to hear about us, although we took all of that time to talk about us. You're not here to hear it.
You're here to hear from our wonderful guests. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi. So my name is Rose Gray, and I write contemporary romance, very generally sweet romance with a lot of focus on the growth of the characters, and that's what I do. I like collecting seashells, not with any discrimination. I just sort of collect them because I think they're cool, and I like knitting, but it always comes out too big. So, yeah.
I love knitting. I love knitting. Knitting is so fun and just relaxes me so much. And now that we're in this pandemic, I'm just enjoying it. It's great.
Okay, see, like when she picked this habit up, she was like 20.
No, I was younger than 20.
You were 19.
No, I was a teenager.
Yeah, it's the most nerve-wracking thing to watch a young teenager sit there with her knitting needles watching TV. Just knitting in the chair, rocking back and forth occasionally. And you're like, Grandma, why don't you just put the gray head wig on? She's like, no, it's just enjoyable. Do it with me. I'm like, I can't do that. I'm not that old. When I'm 70-something, I'll be like, knit. But until then, no. You're academic, though, so you can knit. You need to let your brain rest. I don't have that much going on, so I don't.
I think you have to be pretty coordinated to knit. Some people can do it. They don't have to watch their hands. I can't. I'm not that good at it. I just like the idea.
I mean, it doesn't matter really, truly, like literally watching your hands or watching TV. Literally, I like to put on like my audiobooks and just knit, and it's just something fun for me. And Winona really, really calls me her great grandmother whenever I do it. Though she's disappointed in me.
So you just knit for the fun of it as well?
I think I mostly knit when I feel like I'm doing things that are not productive. And so, like, if I'm watching something really stupid, then I feel guilty. So then I feel like I should be knitting to do something useful.
Yeah, I have a rule that while I watch something dumb, every 15 minutes of the show, I have to stop and write a sentence of a book and then move on.
Right. It's like
you know, like, you feel bad. My brain should be stimulated. I do understand what you're saying. Okay, I'm sorry.
So we're gonna go back.
Let's go back and talk about your books, which you actually came here to talk about, not knitting or stimulation.
Wait, wow. See, you needed to really have that brain stimulation. Just wanted to let you know.
I should have said brain stimulation.
Like, yeah, because you thought stimulation and that was crazy.
Of the brain.
Yeah, of the brain. See, and people ain't gonna hear that. Just saying. That's why
I feel like that semi-segues into clean romance, right?
Yeah.
Stimulation semi-segues in. There you go. So let's hear about how you got started writing clean romance from having a musical background, right?
Right. So really, I mean, when you think about it, well, I was a singer, and singers are really telling stories, but they're telling somebody else's story. They're not telling their own. And you know from writing your own books, even if you're writing a general book, you're writing your own experience mostly. So I find that when I'm writing stories, some of my own life comes in there too, but it's usually pretty hidden, you know. But you really have to use your own. It's a way of processing your own experiences, but it's also a way of exploring new ideas. So, for instance, I wrote a trilogy, which this is the third book of, right? And this one is about somebody who's on a second marriage. Well, it's not it's a second chance love story. It's not a second marriage, but you know, that's not an experience I've had, but many of the emotions that are being processed here are things I've experienced. So it's something I can use. Mostly I really like finding these characters that you get to watch what they do. You set them in motion and then you just watch where they go. And that's fascinating. It's not that you don't plan, you have to, but some of it's a surprise.
I love it because, you know, once you put your characters down on paper and then you gave them the first hurdle that you planned for them to go through,
Mm-hmm.
they pretty much go, so this is what's going on from here on. And you go, what? Because I have a whole nother map. And then the more you try to stick to the map, the more they're like, no, we're taking the exit here. We're going to go see what's down that road over there. Yeah, that one.
Right.
And then they come back and they tell the whole story. So, like, how do you get them to, oh, wait, Jade, do you have a question?
Oh, yeah, that was the question.
Go ahead, Jade.
So how do you navigate your characters back on task to hit your major plot points?
So for me, I spend a lot of time at the very beginning, sometimes way too much time at the very beginning. But I sort of feel if I don't really know them to start with, and then I won't set them up properly to struggle, which is, I mean, I think that's really the hard part. You know, I think a lot of the novelists I know are really nice people, and they don't like hurting anybody. And so, and you have to find these people who have a basic flaw in their rationale about life. And you have to show them the worst thing that they could possibly have to struggle with. And it's not nice. I mean, it makes you feel like you're shoving someone and tripping them. It's not a good feeling, but if you've structured them with enough internal capacity, they're going to get through it. You just have to watch them do it. It's not very pleasant.
Wow, yeah.
I love that. I like it. Okay, so I love the fact that this entire conversation has been about character growth. And do you know the one thing I hate to do for my characters is make them grow?
Oh, yeah, no.
We love it very much.
We love reading it, though. I love reading it. So I think that's astonishing. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to interview you is because you do a decent job with that. You do a very good job
of making your characters grow.
Thank you.
Now, Jay, do you have any other questions?
No,
okay, before I jump ahead, I'm making sure all my champagne is good today. I've already earned I think I've earned like a glass and a half of cold champagne. I'm gonna keep rolling on that. My goal is 6.
Well, this is
You're not gonna have there's not 6 glasses in the bottle, dude.
That is quite true.
And then you're not drinking the whole bottle by yourself. Come on, son.
Oh, so I guess that secret's out. Out. Anyway, moving on. So my question was a bit about where you are located. It's Rhode Island, right?
Yeah.
How does that ever have an impact on your story? Because every time I go to Rhode Island, I think it's so cute. I always end up writing about something about Rhode Island, like just one street I saw or a house. And I literally bring my characters up to Rhode Island just so I can write about that house that I saw or something like that. So I'm just wondering, am I the crazy person here that has this Rhode Island fetish, or does Rhode Island just so cute it just kind of leaks into your work?
Well, it's pretty, but I think it's got a lot more than cute. Like my characters are mostly set sort of on a mythical area around Boston because that's where I grew up and I know that area. So it's easy for me to get it right. But I think, I'm sure you have this experience. Well, where are you?
Annapolis, Maryland.
Yeah. Okay. So you would know. I mean, every place has its own real personality, and I'm not sure I'm ready to write about Rhode Island yet. I've only lived here for about 5 years, and that is about 20 years too short to do it right. It's a very small insular community, and it has a real distinct personality to it. A lot of people have been here their whole lives. They know it inside out, every little bit of it. And if I were to write about Rhode Island, I could never. It's like writing a historical for a bunch of historians, you know? Very risky.
Yeah. So how do you find a way to promote your book online as well as in the local area?
So this is something I'm still learning. When I started writing, I was just writing because I wanted to write. And then I thought, well, wouldn't it be great if other people read it? And I'm slowly figuring that out. Some of it is making sure you have a website. One of my sons put together a website for me. Great, you know.
Nice website.
Yeah. You know, I loaded the stuff onto Amazon and you know, graphed to digital, and I've got it out there. So far, I find I sell books more in person than I do online, but part of that is because I'm not really a marketing guru, and some people are very good at that. I don't have the skill set yet. So someday maybe, but I don't know. People seem to choose different approaches. Some people hire out. Some people go to a traditional publisher if that's an option for them. And I'm not ruling that out, but I like the control factor, and I like playing with it right now. So that's what I'm doing. What do you guys do?
Oh, okay. So we do a lot of stuff.
What do we do, like writing on?
No, how do you
market yourself?
Okay.
Well, we do have a show.
We had a reality TV show.
Fabulous. We had a docuseries.
We have a magazine too,
and we put ads in there.
We have a documentary about us.
Yes, we go on other people's shows.
Most interviewed authors in the world.
Not most, not number one.
Not number one, we're number 18.
Number 18, so that's like, we're not bragging about that or anything. And then we just do make good connections. And actually, I wanted to talk to you when you were talking about you sell more books in person. What are 3 things that you do to engage a person to want to buy your book in person?
So I think that what I'm selling is a little bit easier to sell than say if I was writing about miserable things, you know. But because for me, it's easy, I can smile. I'm offering love. I'm offering a happy thing. So even though there's struggle involved, this is something that people really love to read. And so I can look at someone and say, would you like to read a love story? Do you enjoy reading about things that are happy? Do you like to laugh? And that's a good start to a conversation. But really, I find if I put a book into someone's hands, it usually sells itself. If that's the sort of thing you want.
I
Absolutely.
agree.
I agree 110%.
So I do have one more question, Gabe. Go ahead. You said and.
Oh, yes. And I mean, it works very well for us also when we go to different book fairs.
I was just
definitely put the hand, we actually, the sign right here is in there that says, look inside.
Right.
So we put out, let people read them, and then normally they just want to buy them. Well,
so
no.
I was going to say, Jade, to add to what you were saying, I was going to say, like, we had been on tour for like 2.5 years, and that's literally how we sold most of our books because, I mean, we traveled this
so
nation.
We traveled so much. But
Also,
we gave away one of our secrets that we did on the Las Vegas Writers Retreat. We were talking about how we sold a lot of our books in bars.
Yeah.
Right, because you're there.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think it is very interesting that it's not so much that personality is selling your books, but it's that personal connection, no matter how limited, that makes a big difference in whether somebody's going to give it a chance. I think looking online, it's very difficult to choose. You're losing that tactile sense that you have in a library. Mm-hmm. And when I go to a library, a lot of what I'm doing is picking up the book, looking at it, putting it down. And for me, that's a lot of how I decide. So I'm impressed by people who go online and just choose a book without taking a look.
Oh, I totally choose books without taking a look. But also as an unknown author, well, we are definitely unknown authors, right? And we're poets. So like add on
we're
top
poets
of being an author, like, oh my goodness, poetry is high. So we did when we went to a bar when we just talked to people, and then they're like, you know what? I don't read poetry, but I think I'd read your poetry because you seem like you have something to say.
Yeah.
I'll buy.
Exactly. So I have to ask, did you get to your books by yourself, or was there like a writing group or beta readers that supported you?
So I didn't have beta reader. Well, my oldest son read my book, but I didn't really have beta readers per se. Originally I wasn't part of a group really. When I moved down to Rhode Island, I became a member of the Rhode Island Romance Writers, which isn't, by the way, just romance. I mean, if you write other stuff, you're welcome to join it too, but they're a very supportive group, and they have monthly silent critiques, so you can bring in 3 pages and people you read it out loud and people comment, and it's very helpful having other people comment on your work when it's not there yet or not where you want it to be yet. But other than that, no. I mean, I think for me, I was pretty self-motivated.
Nice.
We love it very much. Okay, so I have to ask my last question because we are a bit over time.
Yes, we are.
Where can people find your books online and find out more about you?
So you could go to my website, which is rosegraybooks.com. So it's gray with an E, like the English spelling. And that would direct people anywhere that they wanted. There's other stuff on there. There's a newsletter. If you want to get email, there's a newsletter, and you get a free story if you sign up, which is always a nice thing. But yeah, that's a good place to go. And people can look on Amazon and all the usual Barnes & Noble and Kobo and that kind of stuff too.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for sharing some of your points about how to sell online and talking about knitting, because I enjoyed it very much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And you can find shush. Well, Nona, I am trying to be professional.
I'm just smiling. What are you talking about? I'm losing a half glass of champagne, y'all. I already know that.
I already drank it in my head. Like, I was like, oh, it's gone.
So
you can find out everything you ladies are doing on www.andwethought.com. And while you're there, take a moment to go to the Ladies tab, go to the middle of the page, and see the charities that we proudly support Yes, we know that times are hard. People maybe not have extra money to give to charity. That's okay. Give them some knowledge. If you know some grants they might be able to go for, do that. Or if you just have some clothes in your you're just like, you know what? Why do I have all these clothes? I'm stuck in the pandemic and I'm cleaning up. Send them to them. They need clothes too. They need resources. So thank you in advance for that. It's really a win-win situation. We truly appreciate it. And remember that wisdom is all around you if
you're open to finding it and accepting it. So peace and love, you guys. One more.
and Jade. Bye-bye.